Hi Ankita. Hello everyone. Hello everyone. I'm Deepthi and I work with As You Are. So today we're waiting for, we're going to go live with Ankita Mehra. So I'm just waiting. Okay.
Hi, Deepthi.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. How are you doing?
Good, good. Thank you for taking time to doing this for us, with
I'm
us.
glad. I'm glad. I'm glad I'm a part of this initiative. Thank you.
Thank you. So I don't think Ankita Mehra needs much of an introduction, but I'll still try. So she's somebody I first heard when she went on roadies and came out. So that was the first time I've personally heard, and since then I've been on and off following her. And she's been quite a vocal person when it comes to issues around DNI, and she's led the Queerist, right? That's what it's called.
Yes, yes. Curious.
Um,
Yes.
Curious, so sorry.
Yeah.
So that was a place which made, I think, a job space and, for queer people, made a lot of difference in a lot of people that I personally knew. And currently, she's working as a diversity inclusion lead at CareerNet. And through her career, I think she's made a lot of points, a lot of difference in a lot of people's lives when it came to job hiring and diversity issues. She's spoken at many colleges and corporates around the same issues, around the issues that people in the community had faced when it came to hiring policies and office-based issues. Is there anything else that you would like to add? Did I miss anything?
Okay, so one great news and a happy news that I would like to share is I was recently awarded as top 20 diversity and inclusion leaders in India, and I'm very, very happy that happened. So I think sharing this great news is one of the things that I really want you all to know. That's it. That's it. We
Congratulations.
can start the conversation as I can see a few of my friends who have joined. And hi, Jeet, I love you.
Jeet is here. Yay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's go ahead.
ठीक है. So, one of the first things I would like to ask is, as a out queer woman, you can share a personal story or experience that you've heard. How is it? How is it good or is it bad? What have been your experiences or stuff you've heard?
Okay, so being out and proud queer woman in the corporate because I was already out on TV, so I had no other option. People knew about me. So joining the organization, people took my orientation as my identity, and I still think that somewhere it is considered as my identity. It's just a part of me, but it is not everything that I have, right? Because on a professional level, I've achieved a lot, and people always think that I have reached this professional level because I am queer, and just because I'm queer, I'm getting opportunity. But that is not true. So I think being out and proud women, the it comes with your identity, and I think people judges you on the basis of you being out. The second thing is people really do not understand the difference between a lesbian woman or androgynous woman or a woman in general, right? Because we are also considered as a woman, and the manhandling, bro zoning, or all the masculine stuff they do with their bros. I think they expect the same from me. They themselves start calling me bro without even considering that if I like it or not. So I think I'm still trying to sensitize people around me that you can't hit me on my back so hard because I actually get hurt, and you cannot manhandle me because this is one of the things that I'm still struggling. Considering some of the things that being out and proud of, like people always judge you that you might have been interested in them because of the lack of sensitization around. And I think they also should know that we also have a type, and we like the people like we want to, and we cannot just directly start hitting on somebody. We also can be a safe space for you. So I don't know why this hate, why this judgment comes on board when I am around people. Actually, it used to happen a lot in past, but as I have grown in my career and I have sensitized people around, and people are really considering before approaching me with some of the comments like that, because they know that I will not be doing this. So I think at the level that I've reached in, it has stopped, but I will still consider the people who have come out and recently joined in their organization on a starting level or level one, level two, they might be struggling with this because people come and
Hmm.
say anything to them, being their seniors.
Hmm.
They think that they own them, and the juniors should be scared of them. So this also is a concern at this moment. So I think concluding all the point, manhandling, bro zoning, or thinking that we are interested in them, it is always going to be there. And I think it's the right time, even in whatever level you are, just stand against it. Because you
Yeah.
should create a safe space for yourselves, and you should teach people how you can be comfortable around them.
So, again, in working in the space, have you had anybody like tell you कि ऐसा issue हो रहा है, how do I handle
Okay,
stuff like that?
when we, because this conversation is completely around queer women, I would consider that few of the examples of my friends who are trans women are really very scared to come out in their office because of this exclusion that they have faced. We have to
Right.
accept this fact that if a girl is butchy or androgynous, that is still acceptable, but they cannot handle a man being feminine, and that is a biases which is everywhere. And I still feel that almost 10% of queer people, like not 10%, and the percentage is a lot. There is a lot intra community
Yeah.
phobia also, which is happening. People from queer
True.
community are biased against men who are feminine, right? So I think, or trans women also, they want to cross dress also. They are not getting the space out there to come out. Like
Right.
one of my trans women friend has said that I feel more comfortable in work from home setup than going to the office to the way I am, because I'm very scared that people are going to judge me with the gender expression. Second thing is they are also not switching their job because they're very scared that what will happen if I go to another organization, and if they are going to
Hmm.
still create biases. They can't, they are just going
Right.
on a brand and they're saying that we are inclusive, but they are not taking risk in their life to grow more because they're so much comfortable in their current organization because they felt inclusive, and they're at a higher risk when they switch their job and go to some other organization because they don't know the culture out there. And
Right.
that
Right.
is the problem, and stories that I've heard, that people are more comfortable in the work from home setup. And it is a saddest fact why people have to work from home and feel inclusive, right? You are actually being
Yeah.
a closet then. And I think that is a
Yeah.
bigger problem at this moment, that people are not accepting any trans women being themselves, and they're still scared to be themselves in the organizations that they're working in.
And I think a lot of times, I mean, even if it is inclusive or not inclusive, a lot of times people won't have the space to even talk about it. Or I'm assuming if there is an assault or if there is any kind of bullying, right, there's usually not, you you won't know whom you can trust in a place which is not inclusive. I think that's where I feel what we have from as you are the community space we are looking at starting conversations around helping each other, like there can be rules in place which people don't know, so
Hmm.
we want to cater somewhere to those conversations where maybe people from the HR department can be a part of the conversation, help people who don't know the way around with rules and stuff.
Okay, thank
um,
yeah.
go ahead.
So some of the comment on HR department, because recently we made the LGBTQ community such a big thing after decriminalization. Before
Yeah.
decriminalization, very limited organizations were actually working on it, and in 2 years we have grown so fast. We are doing a lot of job fairs, we are hiring people, we are actually
Hmm.
giving them jobs and opportunity training and everything. But the important step is, are we really sensitized on the ground level, right? I have seen multiple corporates who have been trying to become very, very inclusive in their space, but apparently
Hmm.
they are not putting so much of efforts in sensitization. They think that
Hmm.
sensitization should be of just one particular department where a candidate will be facing during the interview till they are given an
Right.
offer. Post that,
Right.
there is no even sensitization is happening. It's just a piece of paper, or it's just a slide of 10 pages, and then you go through it. People zone out in a virtual world. They're
Yeah.
attending calls like for 8 hours a day, and then you put this
Yeah.
sensitization course where they're just PPT. It is not very engaging. I'm sure that people are going to zone out, and you're not justifying the virtual sensitization that you're doing. I
Right.
think, and the thing is, leave HR department at this moment. First, be human, right? First, become a human. Then let's talk about HR department, because the company is made by a lot of individuals and they are humans.
Right.
I think creating equal space, not just in HR, in the whole organization, is called
Yep.
sensitization.
Yep.
And I think biases and the incidents happen on a ground level. Incident happen
Yeah.
around the people you're working with. And why we are
Yep.
at the end responsible, keeping HR department only responsible for it, for inhuman behavior.
True.
I think that companies should put more and more efforts for making their sensitization sessions more innovative, more engaging, and it should be a
Yep.
volunteer effort from each and every employee to come and be a part of your ERG group. Right? Just with a PPT of for 15 minutes or 20 minutes, if you're going to show to your employees, definitely they're not going to be very much into it. You can do movie
True.
sessions, you
True.
can have a drag performance, you can show about different
True.
spectrum of LGBTQI community. As I've seen
Yep.
that people, even the corporates who does do the session, they just call one spectrum of the community. That can be a gay man or just one lesbian woman. We ignore other spectrums also. So how are you representing all the spectrums? So there is more awareness around it, and then we are sensitized a good organization. One of the things that I want to say is, every success of inclusion, every success of hiring is not on the basis that you gave a job to a trans person. The success of hiring is when the candidate is stable in your organization, like they've
Yeah.
joined and they have
Yeah.
completed the whole year and they're still continuing. That is where success is. I think celebrating beforehand is a failure for all of us, because we celebrate that, oh my god, I have a trans person at our organization, but we never feel that they might be able to leave in the future as well. So I think we have to bridge that gap, and that reality check should come. Check should come. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because even if the hiring is done, like you were saying, incidents like this happen at the ground level, right? I remember hearing from this is like somebody who's a friend of this trans person who started working. It was a very simple thing. Like she got hired in a big company. She started going to work, but then there was like nobody would really talk to her, and people apparently wouldn't even get into the elevator if she's in the elevator. So it was that bad, and obviously she didn't feel safe. She didn't feel she could trust anybody. She didn't feel right. So yeah, there are questions coming up.
Okay, so Jeet is saying, how about those who celebrate even before hiring? And that's true actually. There are a lot of organizations who are saying that they're really very inclusive, but at the moment that we have seen retention happening from those organizations as well. And I think that a lot of
Hmm.
queer folks who come and give feedback to all of us that things are not going right, things are not happening well, we need to have a very transparent approach, I would say, in terms of
Right.
what organization is really doing, to be honest.
Right.
Just like a glass door for LGBTQ plus community, right? I mean, we need to know
Yeah.
who are better, because see, for us, transition to a job, like if you're leaving a job and joining another company, it's not just about salary package or your growth. It's also
True.
about
True.
inclusion and other policies
Absolutely.
and how you're accepted in the organization. I think these are
Right.
the specs. So we need to be very honest when we claim ourselves that we are LGBTQ plus friendly and we have data to present and talk about it. And I think we should have
True.
transparency in showing this data as well. And
Yeah.
commenting on what you said to what happened with your friend, it happens often because I have seen people who are not even considered as they are a part of the team, or their identity is made fun of within the team. And when then they get to know from the third person, then they don't even have an option, and then they switch the job. If in case they switch the job, then recruiters judge them on the basis of the transition that they have done in their job, and then they are
Right.
called that they are not serious about their job. Every second month they are changing the job. They do not know that it's a big struggle for people to fit in a one organization. And I think
Yeah.
recruiters should not have the biases on the basis of the years you have spent in the organization, because we can add a point that we were actually bullied and harassed in this organization. So I think retention should not come when you're talking about diversity talent, especially from the LGBTQ community.
True, because it's not the same challenges that we faced, when you compare to the cishet people. Also, as
Yes.
like when somebody quits a company, it's not just on the person. There is also some responsibility on the company why the person quit, right? So that nobody really, really talks about or looks at. So we'll move on to the next question unless you have something to add.
No, you go ahead with the next question.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
next, I was going to ask, do you have people whom you think are like role models from the community, or specifically lesbian role models that you look up to in corporates?
Okay, I have a lot of role models, but from the BT space as well. But if you talk just about women representation or lesbian representation in the corporate, I would say they are very limited people at first, right? For a role model, you should have a lot of models in corporate, right? You should have like 10
Right.
options to select one from. I don't
Yeah.
think that we have reached that point where we should talk about role models because, see, first
Okay.
of all, is we are talking about a very, a very niche group, which is
Yeah.
lesbian women. In India, there is a lot
Right.
of women exclusion already, right? Women is not allowed to leave their city and come to a bigger city to work. There are lack of job opportunities in tier 2 cities and tier 3 cities. So mostly
Yep.
queer women from tier 2 and tier 3 cities are unable to come to the bigger cities to pursue their career. They are being forced by their parents to get married. And I know so many folks or lesbian women who already come in my DM and say that I'm Ankita, I'm married, but I love a girl. I was forced to get married. I don't have a job. I don't know how to start a job. So we are talking about that level of exclusion of women community altogether. And now talking about lesbian or trans women to represent in corporates. I don't even have a number of that. Literally, me being so active in the space of LGBTQ plus community, working so
Hmm.
closely for their hiring, with a very limited women out there who are actually out. Like I can literally count in my fingers. The ones I know, they're closeted and they don't want to come out. So the role model is
Right.
like we are talking 10 years ahead. Let's talk about the
Right.
things happening now. I don't think we have a lot of representation from the lesbian or
True.
bisexual women space or trans women space. And one of our major thing is we should also encourage women coming from tier 2 cities. So I'll give you one example. So I stepped into my corporate career because my sister got a job, and she given me a guidance that you can do all these things to grow better in your career. And I have come from a tier 2 city. I was in Air Force. I've never been in a bigger city. So for me,
Right.
transitioning to a corporate life was easier. What happens with the queer women from tier 2 cities are they are not getting the right connects from the community. If you're a part of a community, right, you have responsibility to encourage or upskill or motivate
Mentor.
other people or
Yep.
mentor people from the community as well, how they
Absolutely.
can do better in their careers and their life. There were people who approached me that Ankita, I want to do a job. I'm literally getting harassed in my house. So what I've done is I've helped them to get a job. They've shifted to a new
Hmm.
city and they started their transitioning process, right? So that
Brilliant.
you have to become that change maker if in case you are
Yep.
belonging to the community, because mentorship is really important. And I don't
Yep.
think people get right mentorship coming from the tier 2 city. And coming from
True.
the small city, that is a very big problem. Like they don't get job, then they are forced to get married. So be that change maker, be that medium to upskill somebody. And there is one more comment that I had to give, that there are a lot of groups that LGB or T groups are there in different cities, but we are not allowed to
Right.
get added in those groups until and unless we are from that city. I don't think that's the right policy to make, because some of the ones who want to really connect to people to know more about their sexuality and know
Hmm.
more how they can do better. And because of all these policies, all this exclusion from, making a groupism in the community is actually not helping anybody. So be
True.
as open as possible. Even though someone is from the tier 2 or the smallest city of India, you are responsible to help them to at least try to come
True.
to bigger
True.
cities, or at least make a space in their cities, help them connect with
True.
NGOs around. So I think platforms need to give that space to people. Now if you see Facebook groups also, there are groups only for Bangalore, only for Mumbai, and then you have to fill all the questionnaire that are you really from Bangalore? Then you say no, then they directly reject you. Why that exclusion is there? I'm not gonna do anything. And this is a virtual world now. So we are
True.
a
True.
community all together. Let's not split us into the parts. So I think answering to your question, we all should come together, and we
Yep.
all should be a space to upskill everybody, because we are going to make
Yep.
them out of that zone, because someone has made us come be
True.
what we
True.
are right now. I don't think I would have
True.
ever
True.
done this without my support of my sister.
True,
And
true.
that's it.
We'll take a question. Okay, Sonali is asking what to look for in a company before joining.
Okay. So a lot of companies claim that they have very, very good policies. Okay. But if you see that on a ground level, they don't know how to implement all these policies, or they are just worked on policy. The sensitization has not happened, right?
Right,
I would say you should join a company who are very sensitized and who are willing to learn also, who are willing to make a change also. Just because their budgets have not passed, just because they're convincing their leaders, it does not mean that that organization will not be inclusive. I think you should
true.
see that organization on the basis of their approach to make things better than having the policy and not doing things right. Also, the second thing is I would always like you to have a background check of this organization by talking to some of the folks in on. You can connect folks on LinkedIn also. You can connect folks from
Right,
different Facebook groups are there for all those organizations. And I
right.
think you should, if in case you know any queer person being in those organizations, you can check with them. So just don't judge on the basis of policy, judge on the basis of their intention to make things right. And the policies will come automatically. We all also have to understand it's just been 2 to 3 years till we have started talking about LGBTQ inclusion. A lot of corporates do take time to take budgets. Only one person was taking a stand for inclusion. They have to go through a lot of hurdles and timeline issues, and then they get the budget
Yeah,
and then they make things right. I've seen organizations who do not have policies in place, but they have very right intention. They're making a group, and together as an ERG, they're going to leader that we want this. So please
right,
don't go just
right.
on the policy. Go with the intention of the organization and how the employees are feeling in that organization. That would be my answer.
Okay, we have another question. What's your opinion for community empowerment and jobs, and what do you feel will be safe for us? Community
Okay.
empowerment and jobs.
Community empowerment, I completely agree to this because empowerment, see, a lot of organization, like now you see that there are a lot of transgender shelters which is opening in the India, right? They are not just
Yeah.
focusing on giving a shelter, they're also focusing on training and development of individuals. So in
Yep.
future, they can be independent themselves and they are also helping
Right.
to find the job. And empowerment comes not just from being in shelter. You can start with connecting with so many groups, right? I mean, I cannot name all those groups because it will be a promotion. I think you should do your own search because there are a lot of NGOs
Yeah.
out there. You can follow Yes We Exist. I mean, Yes We Exist can help you
Yeah.
connect with so many NGOs out there who are working on the upskilling of the folks. The second thing is we should not just depend on NGOs or upskilling courses or some foundation who are working for queer empowerment. I think self-learning comes beyond gender, beyond orientation. Self-learning is must. I think with the access of internet, we have grown a lot, and internet has given access and job opportunities in tier 2 cities also. So keep reading, keep learning, and at the same time grow your network on LinkedIn. I would say that each and every person out there should be very active on LinkedIn because it will give you an opportunity to be in one of the organization, and you can connect with incredible diversity and inclusion leaders of this organization. You can directly reach out to them saying that I'm looking for an opportunity. Can you help? And I've seen people who got jobs just by getting connected with those HRs on LinkedIn. So I think exploring, learning should be continuous. And talking about safety and protection of the community or the of your as yourself as an individual. I will only focus on corporate part because I cannot talk on personal part or what is happening in your daily life. But in corporate part, you can always raise your voice. You can always reach out to your HR heads. If in case they are not listening to you, you can reach out to us. You can reach out to me, and then I can help you evaluate that how we can do things better, or let us find a new job for you. So I think that in that area we can definitely support you. I can definitely support you, I can
Yep.
say. I mean, we can try, but at the same time, we need to actually release. You need to be out saying that this company has done this to me. Until and unless people are not coming out and sharing their experiences just
Yeah.
because they are scared that it will be a red mark on their profession, I don't think it's going to be a red mark. You should call out the organization or anonymously at least that they are not doing things right.
Yeah, and I think like as you are on our platform, also we have a job board, and again we take user data very seriously. So I think we can also be a place where complaints can be raised, and see if it can be addressed in a different way. And I'm sure there are a lot of groups out there also which are willing to take up complaints and do what needs to be done. But yeah, I mean, it. I mean, I can see how it can be scary because unless you have a support system that you can fall back on emotionally or financially, it does seem like a very hard thing to do, especially if you're very financially dependent on your job and stuff. So, um, I think one last question from my side would be the glass ceiling. Like women, we talk about glass ceiling, and the term equivalent for queer people is like a rainbow ceiling, right? So, are there conversations around that at all?
Okay, I will answer in the same way that we don't have a data to
Okay.
prove it, and we
Okay.
are still looking for people to be out in their organization. There are very limited people
Hmm.
in India who are actually out. One more problem statement there is there are very less of leaders who are out
Right.
and queer. Who are saying that
Right.
they're leaders. They're very limited folks who can actually answer this question, right? So I don't think we have data related to it. And I've seen that people who are joining as a fresher, who have recently come out and they're joining as a fresher, there they cannot comment so easily because multiple hiring
True.
on diversity related hiring is happening on a fresher level, especially for LGBTQ community. And even if
Right.
experience level it is happening, people are not out to share this. So I don't think I have a data to back onto this, but definitely there are some biases. I did not personally face any biases at this moment in my life for not growing in my career. I think I've grown really nicely and I am still growing, and just because of the support of the right mentors. And
Hmm.
now I
Hmm.
think that because our organization is quite sensitized also, I think that rather than focusing on glass ceiling, I think we should focus on the numbers, how many people are getting placed. And
Yeah.
after 3 years,
I,
let's see if glass ceiling is happening, because there's no data to
true.
prove it at this moment. No data
True.
has come right now in India which can prove it. And limited
Hmm.
leaders being out, they have, I don't think anybody has reached out to me, and I have not faced myself personally, but I'm sure
Right.
people who are closeted might be facing something in an unconscious manner or with unconscious
True.
biases. That is true.
True.
Unconscious biases are always there. And that is a bigger problem in India at this moment.
I think probably then right now the data we have is probably just around hiring and retention, right? How many companies are able to retain the one transgender person that they've hired? So,
I think the
um,
problem also lies in the salaries of trans folks, right? I mean,
true,
if you're going to hire a trans person just in 15,000 per month, and you are not giving any travel allowances, you are not giving any help on their transition process also, I mean, that is where you are doing injustice, because see, they cannot wait for their salary hike to, go ahead with their transition process. We can never understand what they're going through, and just because of
true,
this less salary, people are not understanding the sensitivity behind the 5,000 or 10,000 you're paying less to a trans person. This salary should be a thing. If in case a company is not having a policy for trans persons,
hmm,
they are still paying them very less. At least pay them more. And whatever answer I've given previously, then don't focus on the policies initially. But for trans person, I'm still standing on it. Until unless they are not paying you good salaries, you have to fight through it that we deserve good salary, because you don't have policies at this moment. And I
hmm,
think that is one of a very important thing. Salary difference. Don't just tick
yeah,
boxes, do justice, right? And I've seen that a lot of organization hired them on an internship basis. 6 months they have given them some sort of training, and apparently they are not converted into full-time job because they think that they are not as good as they thought. Why are you having unrealistic expectation? Because they have gone through social exclusion also.
yeah,
No one is
yeah.
considering that point. No one consider where it started from. They just see that okay, we invested 6 months and that is it. I think do justice with all these programs, and that is where we all will be successful.
True, true. That's very true. Let me just see if we have questions.
Hi, Aruna ma'am. So, Aruna, okay, one more thing. Aruna Desai, who has joined, I love her. She's the best one in supporting our community. She's an ally, she's a mom. And if in case their parents are not agreeing for you, or you are not having a safe space at home, you can always reach out to Aruna ma'am, because she sensitizes parents. And she's also leading a parent support group. So I think there you can utilize the resources who are coming in this live.
They're with she's with Srikar, that group,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Bombay
Srikar
based.
Group. Yes.
Okay, nice, nice.
Yeah.
I'll just see. Okay, I have one question I would like to ask. Is there any chance to join as you are if someone intend to join? Yes, anybody can join. Um, one question. I'm Shravya, trans, female. Why girls not accepting my friendship? Anything wrong? I'm not sure if that's like something like we're talking about jobs, so probably skip that. So we're in the last few minutes. Would you like to add anything like as an end note?
Okay, I would say that this conversation was really around the LGBT space, like women who are queer in organization. But we have seen that there are very less women who are literally coming out at this moment. We have seen, I know very limited women, so who are being themselves. So if in case you are not comfortable coming out to anybody, you can always come out to me. And if you're looking for any opportunities in corporate or you're facing any issues in corporate, I think Jeet and I wanted to work closely to really talk about the corporates where we can do things right. I mean, and come out if in case you are facing any sort of exclusion in your organization. Just don't go on the tagline that a corporate has got, that as you come as you are, or you are we are this, we are that. Don't go on taglines. Go on numbers. Go on their intention, and you can always tell us if in case things are not going wrong, things are going wrong, and we can help you, support you to make things right. Secondly, be as you are, as we started this live with, and I think as you are is doing a really good job, because they are trying to create that open space for everybody from every city, any city, to come in and connect together. And we need a very strong community out there to do
Yep.
things better for everybody. And one thing I want to say is, be a change maker that you because we need to give opportunity or the mentorship to the people who are coming from tier 2 city. I understand. So I have come from Nasik, and I've not met even one lesbian woman in Nasik. I've been there for 5 years. It's not like they're not there. It's like we have not created that safe space. So be
Yeah.
that safe space for somebody, or help them to grow so they can be themselves, and they should not be forced to get married to anybody else. And jobs, upskilling, you can volunteer 1 or 2 hours, whatever skills you can train somebody on those skills,
Yep.
and we all can make the change that we want to see in India right now. And that's it. That is what I wanted to say. And thank you for giving me
Yeah.
this opportunity to come live with you.
Thank you. Thank you for taking time and talking to us. It's been quite enlightening. The one thing that you said about, if you want to find out about a company, talk to somebody who's already working. That is actually very important rather than just the understanding the policies. And I think Jeet has asked
Jeeta has asked the
something.
question.
Yeah. What has been your best memory at work last year?
Uh, the work memory that the best memory, I would say that I have transitioned the job during the COVID time. So I was very, very scared to even be myself, being so out, being so confident. I was still scared to be myself in my current
Right.
organization. But the best memory is that I was not facing even 1 second that I felt excluded. One of the feedback that I've given to my organization is that the vaccine should be inclusive for all. If in case you are providing
Right.
vaccine to your same opposite sex partner whom you're married to, and provide vaccine to your same sex partner also, and that was heard and that was addressed. And I think from that day I was heard. And I can say that being that bigger of an organization and giving me that space to speak about things and helping me to change, even though it's happening slowly, I agree.
Right.
Maybe you can see I'm a good DNI leader, but I'm a very slow DNI leader, because I'm taking very small sensitive steps to make things right. And that's what I would say, that create understanding that your employer is actually listening to you, and they are asking you
Yep.
questions. So whenever I talk about, someone who from our organization has come out to me as non-binary person, then they ask me, Ankita, what is non-binary? So I have given sensitization slowly to the departments, and they are asking questions back to me, because I'm very happy that I could create that space where people are
Yeah.
asking me questions, and that's the best memory I could share from my end.
That's nice. I think end of the day, intention matters. For
Yeah,
them, it's like we want to do it the right way. We'll get to the right people. We'll do it right. I think end of the day, now whatever policies even are in place, the ground level people and their intentions behind those policies is what matters more than
yeah.
anything.
And I don't think you have to be a diversity and inclusion leader to ask for what you want and is you what
True.
you deserve, right? Start speaking in
True.
your organization if in case they are misgendering you. Start speaking in your
True.
organization if they are not paying you well. And I think you need to start speaking because you have a worth. That's why they hired you. Don't think that you don't
True.
have a
True.
worth and whatever I say, they might fire me. Don't get scared of all those things. Just go ahead and ask for things. Until and unless you not ask for things, things might not happen. And in India, until and unless you don't tell your father that you want a phone, they will never give you a phone. And even though
True.
you ask
True.
for phone, they will ask you 10 follow-up questions. They will tell you achieve 10 more things, but still you can ask for it. It's your right. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would say. The approach towards sensitization, because educate people in every any strength that you have. And I've seen in my previous organization, when I was not even a DNI leader, I was just a very random mid manager level role employee. I sensitized the whole organization of 80 people.
That's
I said
great.
I need half an hour from you all, but this is Pride Month. I
Hmm.
want to call people from community and I'll do an event. And literally we called
Nice.
two trans persons, two gay men, and one lesbian representation, and we did a very beautiful event. They all got sensitized at one place. They had questions. So I think just
Nice.
take that first step to to things, and things will happen automatically.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, every year, if just during Pride Month, I think even if companies have, like you said, movie screenings and conversations and bring different people, not just like, one trans woman, one lesbian, just different people because we're all unique and we've all had unique struggles through career, through personal life. So yeah, and thank you for your time. Let's end this.
Sure, sure, no worries. Thank you for having
Sure,
me
sure.
today, and all the
Thank
viewers,
you for your
thank you for
time.
watching. Take care.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you for watching, everybody. Bye.
Yeah, bye.